All right, Ronnie Anderson, and your top qualifier today here at ERX.
Yep.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, super excited. I actually got to test a little bit in Crandon this week, so got to test in that in the Pro 2, and honestly, I just felt really good yesterday. Felt gelled with the track a lot. Car's really good, made some changes, so I'm excited for today.
Awesome. Yeah, you've been doing great in the UTV, and as we get into it, I really want to dig into trying to get you guys to do a full season, as I'm sure many people do.
Yep, and we would love to. Honestly, short course is I would say our heart's in short course with our team and stuff, but just not much of it out on the West Coast for us, so it's a lot to travel, a lot of parts and stuff to take with us in the semi and in the motorhome and stuff. So hopefully if we can get it to start coming a little bit more West Coast, hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier for us to do it more of a full schedule.
I think the future is bright for that.
Hopefully, I hope so.
So how we kind of run our interviews is we do engine warm-up section, then we do a sight lap, green flag. So engine warm-up section, we give you an opportunity to just give like a brief overview of how you got started into off-road and how things have progressed from class to class. So long story how I got started into off-road racing was my dad was actually the crew chief for Walker Evans way back in the day, and then they went in together and started Walker Evans Racing, the shock and wheel company, and got RJ actually into racing when I was probably about 5 years old. Started racing go-karts and stuff, and then the first trophy karts came out when RJ was probably around 10. So I would have been, probably RJ was around 10, 11, and he started racing those, and I didn't really get into racing until I was 10 years old. RJ was racing Pro Light at the time, Super Light, and UTV stuff when I started racing trophy karts at 10. So that was way back in 2010 now, so 15 years I've been racing, just from little junior 2 karts, Mod-Karts, 570, Polaris UTVs, and then now all the way up to the Pro R and Pro 2. So it's been a cool run. Awesome. Is there aspirations to go to a Pro 4 as well?
I would love to do a Pro 4 one day. Hopefully one day when we can do a full season and have the budget to do it. I think it'd be awesome to have 2 Pro 4s out there. And I'd still love to do the Pro 2s as well. I love Pro 2 racing. I think Pro 2 racing is awesome. Tight competition, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, this year has definitely been a good year for competition, a good year for racing.
Yeah, and I think Pro 2 is cool because we all have similar chassis guidelines that we have to follow and stuff. Everyone has their own take on the chassis and stuff, but pivot points and stuff are all pretty fixed. So it all comes down to converter gear ratio kind of, which is cool.
Yeah, I think when we were talking before, you have one of the older trucks in the field, and it's still literally still working. So.
Yeah. My truck was actually built in 2010, so she's 15 years old. It was built the same year I started racing. So.
It's got the same amount of experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So then our sight lap section, we ask the same 6 questions to all our drivers for our interviews, and we kind of cross compare, and it's a nice little deal here. So favorite track of all time, and which one of the 2025 season are you looking forward to most?
Favorite track of all time? That's a tough one. I would say Lake Elsinore, Lucas Oil days would be my favorite track of all time. And if you go back and watch some of it, it was good racing there, and they had some of the best jumps we've ever had on any short course track, from step ups to 200-foot tabletops, rhythm sections. It was a really cool track, and the crowd always showed up. It was always a night race. Just had a really good feel there, and one of the best tracks overall. And I would say for 2025, I think one of my favorite tracks, I would say here, honestly, ERX is probably more of a West Coast style track, if that kind of makes sense. So it fits our style a little more. And I think it kind of involves closer racing, a better show for the fans, and less people get spread out, and it's just a lot more fun to drive.
Awesome. Yeah, the sandy material, the tighter corners, altitude changes.
Yeah, they have a little bit of a different mix in the split lane. They keep it really sandy, so it gets rough and nasty in the split lane, and then everywhere else is a little more hard packed. And it's just really fun to drive. You can build speed around it pretty good, and it's just fun.
So which one of the tracks is the toughest to drive?
Ooh, of 2025?
Let's do both, 2025 and of all time.
Oh, that's tough. I would say one of the toughest ones of all time for me personally was Reno. I was horrible all the time there, so it was really tough for me, and it was like really important exit and then really long straightaways. and there were uphills, downhills. That one was really tough for me to get a hold of. I never really truly got a hold of it in the trucks. So that one was probably my most difficult all time. And then the ones of 2025 that we're doing, I would say Crandon's so tough for me. I struggle there. I think I struggle with the long corner, long straightaway. I like the tighter stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of suits me better. So trying to slowly get better at it. We've had some better runs lately at Crandon, so hopefully we'll keep that going.
Yeah, it seems like Crandon's the track that everybody loves, but it just doesn't work out for them usually.
For sure.
It's really hard to put it all together on that one.
Absolutely. Love the atmosphere and the track's challenging.
So where does Wheatland fall on that category of short and technical to long stretches?
I would consider it more of short and technical. Yes, they do have a long front stretch, I would say. And they have a big bull turn, but it's usually really slippery. You're not getting like a big run through there. So I would consider it more of a tight technical track. We even run a more tight technical setup in the truck, shorter gear ratios and stuff for there compared to Crandon, let's say.
Yeah, especially in that intersection, there's a lot of ground to lose and a lot of ground to gain.
For sure.
So what class do you make a point to go up to the grandstands and watch?
Ooh, that's tough. I always make it a point to go watch Pro 4. I mean, obviously, my brother RJ's in it, but that's honestly I think a Pro 4 is one of the coolest vehicles ever built. One of the coolest vehicles that races today through road racing, rally racing. I think they're just a pretty awesome vehicle, and they do some pretty crazy things, and they race like nothing else ever races. Their style of driving and the ability to race on a slick track or a rough track is pretty cool.
And the hits, they can take the hits and keep on going.
Yeah, they can over jump something by 100 feet and flat land, and all the wheels stay on. And, they can door bang each other for 15 minutes long and lose all the body parts, but everything's still going. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Any sportsman classes that you kind of go to watch, or?
Yeah, some. Okay. I end up going to watch usually 570. I like to watch 570 and Sportsman side by side. I think those are fun to watch just because I remember being the kid, racing, and it's always cool to watch them kind of grow and develop and see them out there battling and having fun. I think it's awesome.
Awesome. Who is a legend of the sport that has had high impact but doesn't always get the recognition, doesn't always see the limelight?
It's tough. Let me think about that one for a second here. Current?
Current or past, like a legend, somebody like,
okay.
Obviously Walker's a legend.
Yep. I actually would say Kyle LeDuc. I think we've kind of entered a phase where back in the day, everyone used to, build their own trucks, and they would go to a race and they would completely back half the truck after that race and rebuild it because it didn't work the race before. And Kyle kind of was that, like, he was still doing that, in this current day, which none of us do, and he would race at one race, go back, and he would cut the whole back end of the truck off, rebuild the whole thing for the next race and try again, even if it was better or worse. And I think that was the cool part about Kyle, is he was not only a super talented driver, but understood the mechanical side and wasn't scared to try anything. He was like, oh, that didn't work, I'm gonna just back half my truck and try something totally different, which I thought was really cool. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Because we all build our trucks, my truck's from 2010. And it's been changed a little bit from here and there, but everybody else kind of just runs the same truck, or builds a truck at the beginning of the season and just makes smaller changes like sway bars and stuff like that. So yeah. I thought that was really cool.
I heard him on a podcast, and he was talking about how he builds things in smaller scale version,
yep,
and then scales them up until he gets to the point where he's happy with everything fitting.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really, on an engineering aspect, that's like,
it's pretty
taking
cool.
it next level.
For sure.
10 years from now, what do you want to be able to look back and say you accomplished in off-road?
Honestly, 10 years from now, I would hope to be able to assist off-road into getting bigger, growing and reaching a bigger audience, getting more people into the sport, having a 25 Pro 2 field, 25 car count Pro 2 field, 25 car count Pro 4 field. I think that would be awesome. Having back in the day in Lucas, there was, I think, 30 pro lights at some point, and we would have LCQs, so try to get back to some of that, get the sport bigger, get it in front of more eyes, and I think that would be more important to me than winning a championship per se or something like that, just because I think this is awesome. I think Pro 4s are awesome. I think Pro 2s are awesome, and hopefully we can get it back out there in front of more people and get it to grow.
What do you think one of the key things that we'd have to do in order to make that start to grow faster?
That's a tough question. I think honestly it would be just the drivers all kind of need to be united in something and helping it move forward, you know, and they're doing a good job here at Champ, and they're taking good steps towards the right direction. I think just getting into bigger areas instead of racing in the same, you know, Midwest area in front of the same, say, 15,000 fans that come to most of the races. You know, we see a lot of the same people when we come. Go to just different venues, different states, and try to get in front of more eyes and get the advertising out there to get them to come watch and have them tell their friends. You know? So
I think that's a very smart move to make that happen. Who's the highest skilled competitor that you raced against, in your opinion?
Highest skilled competitor. Current day, I would probably give it to Keegan. Keegan's pretty skilled competitor in Pro 2. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's, you know, when you show up to Crandon, he's going to be the #1 guy to beat. You know, if he's on that day, it's going to be very, very hard to beat Keegan, no matter what. And I would say for UTV stuff, it always kind of changes. I mean, CJ is always really fast. The Van Efferents have been quick recently, so. And that's kind of why I like UT racing stuff too, is there's always someone new that's gaining a lot of ground. But I think all-time UTV, I would say Kyle Chaney. He's hard to beat in short course. He's hard to beat at King of the Hammers. Yeah. You know, he's an all-around really good driver and good dude. So he'd probably be my pick for UTV.
Awesome. All right, now we move into the green flag section, which is a bunch of like just core questions. So back in your rookie days, what was the reach for the stars kind of thought?
I think the reach for the stars thought in my rookie days, the Trophy Card days, was to just get up into Pro 2 and be able to battle with guys like Keegan, or when Rob Mack raced, you know, race with Rob Mack and Carl Renstetter and those, you know, top guys would have been, was my dream, you know, just be able to battle with them and be able to hang with them, you know, because those guys are legends and they get to do it. They've been doing it forever, so to be able to get up there and show my door to them, or them show a door to me, is awesome.
Yeah. So Rob Mack still has some desert stuff.
Yeah, Rob Mack does.
And you guys got some desert stuff. Do you get chances to?
No, he does mostly score trophy truck stuff, and we don't really do that. So we haven't raced with him since 2020, I believe. Okay. Since he last raced short course, which was last year. So.
All right. All right. Well, we alluded to this earlier with traveling and full time, and so you guys are a pretty well-traveled team. What do you think the biggest challenge is traveling from California to the Wisconsin, Minnesota, Parker area?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for someone from the West Coast coming out here to race, say, a full season would be getting enough parts for us into the trailer, and then we'd almost need to get a shop out here and stay out here. And for like a lot of our guys, they have kids and wives at home and stuff, so we'd almost have to live out here for a full summer, and it's just not super realistic for us to be able to do that. Like, we'd still leave our semi out here and stuff, but it's hard for us to stay out here, leave the guys out here, move us all out here and work on the trucks day in and day out like we need to do to stay competitive in a season, and then as well as still all of a sudden have to fly home and do, say, Vegas to Reno in the UTV. You know, so it's just a lot. Being so far away, it's tough. You almost need double the team. Yeah. You know, so you'd have to have a desert team and then a short course team, the two totally separate, you know, kind of deals. So could be a lot to take on to be able to do, say, a full season out here in the summer with it being so close together. If they were a little more spaced out, say like once a month, maybe it'd be a little easier to handle something like that. But
well, for Mickey Thomas actually said you guys were a legend in a sport that doesn't get a lot of recognition. So, I mean, he's got a shop out here. Maybe I put this up in the universe.
He does.
It's a pretty big shop from what he alluded to.
Yep, he does. He does have a shop out here, and Mickey's awesome. He absolutely rips in a Pro 2, and now he's starting to figure out the Pro 4, which is awesome. But we'll see. It's more just getting the manpower, getting the parts, getting the bodies, you know. Yeah. It's all kind of the stuff that no one thinks about that's expensive we can't fit it all in the hauler for, 10 races, say. So, especially for 3 cars, and just a lot.
It's a lot of program. So, for the guys that are traveling from here to Glen Ellen, what would be the biggest advice, say?
Honestly, the biggest advice is to just, honestly, for one race, it's not too bad, because you only need one spare body, you don't even really you need one engine, you need one transmission, you need only one of everything. You know, fingers crossed, right? Like as long as practice qualifying goes okay, but you only need one of everything. So, and a couple of the guys do it for King of the Hammers now, you know, so they've already kind of got it down. But biggest advice is just, I guess, come prepared. We've done it several times where, you know, you forget something at the shop and you're like, wow, how did we forget something like that? So just do a checklist, stay prepared, and it'll be just fine. It's no different really than, say, coming from Green Bay to ERX, you know?
Yeah.
Even though it's only 6 hours, or 6 hours to 20-hour drive, it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still the same point of you gonna overnight something from the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Would more races on the West Coast get you guys to commit to a full season?
I think it would open up more sponsorship opportunities eventually. Obviously, it wouldn't happen the first season, you know, like it takes time to develop, I think, but it's going to help get it in front of more eyes and be able to show your sponsors that, hey, we hit, you know, 7 different audiences instead of 1. So I think eventually it can work into being able to be a full season. And I wouldn't say right away that it would be able to do a full season, but we would definitely try our hardest to hit the West Coast rounds and then still do an ERX Crandon or something like that. You know?
So what tracks would you have that are West Coast tracks?
Well, we're going to Glen Helen this year, which is awesome. I think Glen Helen's kind of a legendary spot. You know, they've had MX Nations and a lot of moto races there. So Glen Helen's cool. I would add Wild Horse Pass in Arizona. I think that one's really cool. And Nitro Cross just redid it all. So there's a pretty cool over-under there that you could incorporate doubles and stuff. And then
is that the one that's got like it's a over-under bridge and a jump over that one?
No, that one's in Utah.
Oh, that one's in Utah.
Yeah,
okay.
So that would be my next one. I think Utah would be the next step.
Okay.
And then from there, you'd have to look at new venues because I believe those are the only 3 that are still around. Elsinore's gone, Reno's gone. Yep.
So it was said by a couple California scene guys that say that the California crew typically kind of shows up right before the pro races. The fans watch the pros and they kind of scamper off, where the Midwest is like, we show up on Thursday. We don't stop partying until the last checkered flag. So you agree that's a...
I would say that's true for sure. We've had, excuse me, in Lucas, we didn't really have many amateur races. So on the West Coast, it was basically trophy carts, Mod-Karts, UTVs, and then it was Pro Buggy, Pro Light, Pro 2, Pro 4. So that was basically the only classes that raced in Lucas. So it was kind of not very many amateurs. The amateurs were the kids, basically, for Lucas. And then the UTVs eventually got integrated into after opening ceremonies, but before they were not. So it was just a different style of racing. You know, and then we had the regional series. Lucas had a regional series that was strictly for the amateurs. So it was separated. They had the pro series, and then they had the amateur series. And then they kept it local to, they had a Southern California regional series, they had an Arizona regional series, and then a Utah regional series. So they kept the regional series local to the amateurs, and then the pros would tour around and do all the tracks.
So in that time period, did you see a lot of the amateur racers and fans and crew members coming and watching the sports or the pros?
Yeah, a lot of them would, because they were fans of the sport too. So, you know, they would come and a lot of the pro guys would even use the regionals as tests. You know, we would go and they would still have a Pro 2 class or a Pro 4 class that we could run, but it was more of a test, you know.
Awesome.
So it was just kind of different. The spectators, it was, say the show didn't start till 1, but it started at 4 and then ended at 8. You know, it was a shorter show. In Lucas than it is today. Today they start at 9 and we end at 5. You know what I'm saying? So it's a long day. Long day here, which is understandable because we have so many sportsman classes, which is awesome and stuff like that.
Lots of UTV classes.
Lots of UTV classes. Yeah, what is there? There's 7 with the sportsman, pro-am, or amateur turbo, pro side-by-side, pro stock, 170, 570, and then sportsman sideways, or I just said that 6, so 7?
Yep, 6, 7, I'm sure there might be even one more, maybe. So out of all the disciplines of racing you've done and types of vehicles, which one's a favorite?
Oh, I love the Pro 2 racing. It's The Pro 2 is definitely my favorite. I would say racing the Pro R is really fun now. The Pro R platform is really fun to drive compared to just like the turbos and the NA cars that I've driven before. It's just they're like so durable now and so fast. It's getting to be closer to like racing a truck, you know, which is awesome. So I would say the Pro Rs are creeping up there, but there's nothing like racing a Pro 2. You know, just high horsepower two-wheel drive, taking a lot of finesse to drive it, and it's cool. Like when you nail your setup, you know you nailed the setup, and then it's going fast. So I think the Pro 2 is probably the most.
Yeah, the Pro Rs are, I mean, time-wise, are right in that same category.
I think I think yesterday, I was actually faster than all the Pro 2s, and I would have qualified second in Pro 4.
Wow.
So the Pro Rs are
They're
really sneaking up there into being the fastest. And I think CJ would have been fast qualifier the whole weekend earlier this year in his Pro R.
Wow.
So they're getting fast, and it's pretty cool to see. Came a long way in 10 or 15 years-ish from the first Razor 800s. Came a long ways.
Yeah, it definitely has. So you guys put out a lot of YouTube content, a lot of good Instagram content. It seems like everybody struggles on the social media aspect of getting that viral view.
Yep.
It's got to almost be like a massive win, something like the cup race that we had.
Yep, that cup race was awesome.
Or unfortunately, like a big wreck or something like that gets the viral views.
Yep.
But as far as building like an audience, what advice do you have for building that audience?
Yeah, I think it's just RJ's a lot better at this than I am. So he's the marketing guy, I would say. But I would say just keeping it original, keeping it organic, doing fun things. You know, being yourself. You know, we've tried to post everything of our whole weekend, from us working on the trucks to us going and hanging out with the guys at the beach that camp down there. You know, and hanging out and fishing and stuff. So I'll just try to keep it fun, keep it organic, and just show who your true self is, and I think it comes through. Not always being, don't get me wrong, it's always important to post and be serious, but people always want to see like what it's actually like too. So I think that's important to see, you know, after a big cup win or something, everybody at the barn, you know, partying. I think that's what people want to see. People enjoy seeing that side of like off-road and really what the culture's about. Like everyone battles on track and then goes to the barn and hangs out with the cup winner, you know, and parties. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, you guys definitely know how to celebrate too when that comes to that.
Yeah, definitely.
I particularly remember the truck. You guys got like a souped up truck.
Yep.
And were doing some burnouts and stuff when it was later on that.
Yeah, RJ got to do some burnouts in Jamie Flannery's C10. That was awesome.
That was Flannery's,
yeah.
Cool. Okay, so with Glen Ellen being the end of the season, do you think that the full-timers are going to be a little bit more conservative at Grandin, or do you still think you're going to get that?
I think everyone's still going to go all out probably at Crandon. I mean, it's Crandon, fall Crandon. Everybody goes all out no matter what. You know, I think it's you know, like the Daytona of off-road basically, or the Talladega of off-road. So I would say everyone's going to go full out there no matter what. You could put it in the middle of the season and everyone would still go all out.
Yeah.
It's just a special place, and everybody feels like that's where they want to win. You know, it's Sunday Cup weekend. You know, everyone wants to win that day. So
yeah. That makes it tighter for you guys because you got to go like at Grandin and travel back home.
Yep. So we'll travel back home, and then I believe we have 3 weeks or so.
Until it's 3 weeks, yeah. So at least you got
a little bit of time. As long as nothing catastrophic happens, a little bit of time.
Yep. I don't see any wood around here. All right, 2009, Johnny Greaves jumps 301 feet for that record jump.
Yep.
Bryce Menzie breaks it in 2016. 379 feet. I think you know where I'm going with this. Are you guys ever thinking about maybe trying to break that?
I don't know. That'd be tough. RJ's done a few world record jumps in a UTV.
Okay, yeah.
Before. I don't know. The truck would be tough. 300, that's a long ways.
Yeah.
379 feet's a long ways. So I don't know. I think that's tough. Bryce made it, and then I think almost went bigger, and then crashed that next try. So it'd be tough to probably go bigger. It would take a lot of effort and special truck, I think, and stuff to be able to go farther. So we'll see. Maybe on down the road. But I think it's cool that Bryce has it also. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a 10-year span from now. So I mean, technology is somewhat advanced.
Yep.
So
for sure.
Which that kind of mixes into the next question. What do you think about all the advancements that's been coming to the trucks, like all the computer stuff, dash? Some people have the paddle shifting.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's really cool. And personally, I think Pro 4s probably should be allowed to be more open. closer to trophy truck if you follow desert racing.
Oh yeah.
Like there's basically no rules in trophy truck. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I think it would be cool to keep them in a wheelbase, track length box, and then tell them do whatever. If you want to put twin turbos on your Pro 4, put twin turbos on your Pro 4. It might not make the race, but it looks cool, and try to make it work. So I think that would be cool, and I think it would progress more development and more engineering side of things, and maybe even get more manufacturer stuff involved, being able to go through the engineering side as opposed to marketing side. And it may not, but I think it would be cool. I think Pro 4s are awesome, and they could probably be more awesome, if we made less rules. So, and I know it gets more expensive, but with cooler things, maybe more sponsorship money. So it all depends, but I think it would be cool.
So you think that adding more technology could possibly get more sponsorship type stuff?
I think it's possible, and I could be totally wrong. And you see a lot of people doing the opposite, like NASCAR's basically gone the opposite of adding more technology. They've gone to a spec car that you buy from one person instead of building your own car and doing your own body work that they used to do. Yeah. Right? So now you buy the body, you buy the car, you buy all the suspension parts. They're not making all of them anymore. And you see NASCAR still doing well, I think. But I think we also have room, like Pro 2 is kind of more spec. We already have a spec Pro 2, and then like Pro 4s, we should just let them go, and at some point it's too much, but I think they should let them go. Put them in a box, like I said, put them in the track width and wheelbase rule, and just let them go for it, and then keep Pro 2 kind of how it is, and limit our motor and suspension and all that.
So were you for the hoonigan style type UTV videos that RJ did?
I was there for him. I didn't drive in any of it, but I was there for him. Yeah.
How was that experience like?
It's pretty cool. It's a totally different side of way different than racing. When he's like about to jump a freeway and stuff, and you're standing on the ramp with him looking at you, you're like, dude, this is like if you miss by 5 miles an hour coming up this ramp, it's like could not be good. So it's nerve-wracking as a brother, but it's cool too. Just being there with him and being like, if he's nervous, then I can't be nervous. I'm like, no, dude, you're gonna be just fine here. And
bring him back.
Yeah, exactly. And you got this. But it's cool. It's cool to see that side of it. And like the Hoonigan one in Long Beach was really cool because it was during COVID actually, and Long Beach kind of gave Hoonigan like the keys to the city. So we were like just driving kind of razors around with police escorts. And got to like jump through some fountains there, and it was odd. It was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool experience.
So did you work with? They worked with Brian Scotto then?
Yes.
How was that experience?
It was really cool. Super cool guy. Like I said, I didn't really work he was there, and I met him and everything. I didn't work directly with him. Obviously, RJ and him kind of went back and forth on like, we want this or this, and then they'd do retakes and stuff. But pretty cool experience. Definitely knows what he's doing, and it's cool part was he kind of gets motorsports too. So if RJ's like, I don't know, like this wouldn't really be possible, then he's like, all right, I get it. Let's do this then. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, when I landed in LA at your guys' shop earlier this year, I was driving and all of a sudden I seen Randy's Donuts. Yep. And I was like, oh man, I didn't even know it was there. I cranked in there, took a picture.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, just totally stumbled upon it on accident too. So, regarding the kid classes, what do you think the best route is for a kid to go up and eventually
to Pro 2, Pro 4? I think. What is it called? Razor 170, Razor 200?
Yeah, they mix them together because they're...
Yep. I would say that's the best starting out the gate. Because they're slower. You can get parts from Polaris. It's fairly cheap. You get them started, see if they like it.
Yeah.
And then you can start going from there. And then I would recommend, I think Mod-Kart is important. I would still drive a Mod-Kart if I could fit in it. I think it was one of the best things ever that I've ever driven. Yeah. Had some of the most fun in a Mod-Kart. And the cool part is like when you're at the track, your buddies are also racing. Those are some of your best friends that you're also racing. They're in the same classes as you. So, I still remember battling, me, Brock Hager, Christopher Tolvardi, Trey Gibbs. Like we all used to be in Mod-Karts and racing, and it was some of the most fun. And I think it teaches you a lot because you have to shift, you have a clutch, you have all kinds of stuff going on for a Mod-Kart. So I would say that would be your next step. It's kind of a big jump, I would say, from like a Razor 200 to a Mod-Kart.
Yeah.
but you don't have to be fast out the gate in Mod-Kart. You know, it might take a little bit to get going. Like back in the day, I think I was only a junior team for 1 or 2 years, and then I went straight to Mod-Kart and was in that for 4 years. I would go to like a UTV 1000, like a pro stock, amateur, pro-am, somewhere around there. Then go to amateur turbo, pro side-by-side, and then go to trucks from there, is what I would probably recommend going to. And then I don't know, it's a toss-up probably between pro spec and pro light. I've never driven a pro spec, so I can't tell you much about pro specs, but pro light's really good. It teaches you a lot. It's really, I would say a pro light's harder to drive than a pro 2, personally. They're rowdy, fast, no suspension.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to roll it over at every corner, you know, so that would be your next step. And then pro 2, pro 4, really your choice from there.
Yeah, awesome. So the racing environment tends to teach you a lot about yourself. What is one of the more important things that you kind of learn from racing into, you know, the growth of your own self?
I think one of the main things that I've learned from racing is just to be humble and really learn to take it all in when you're here. You know, when you're meeting fans or meeting your competition or hanging out with your friends here, whatever it may be, just take it all in, because it might not all be here forever. You can always try to be nice to everyone, because it's always going to come back around. If you totally smash someone, it's going to come back around and get you. So just try to race clean, try to be good, you know. And I think that's the most important thing. Everything in racing actually translates perfect into life. If you were to take someone out on the track, they're going to take you back out on the track. So it's the same thing in real life. If you treat someone bad, they're going to end up just treating you bad, and it can come back to bite you later.
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy. Yeah. So 2022, your dad Randy was inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yep. So
his work with Walker Evans Racing, producing and developing all kinds of advancements that have helped the race world in full. Is there a particular achievement that you're mostly proud of him?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, he's done a lot of things, but I would say that's tough. I would say I'm the most proud of just what he's been able to build from being an off-road. You know, from just being a crew chief, and then to be able to build a successful business out of it, and you know, kind of be able to sell his business later on to Polaris, and you know, be successful from just working on a truck to being successful, you know, and owning his own business and selling, you know, hundreds of thousands of shocks and wheels, you know, a year is pretty cool. So I think that achievement is pretty awesome. From just coming from a crew chief to being able to run your whole business and sell so many shocks and wheels, and still be able to develop new stuff. And stuff is probably my favorite achievement of his.
What would you consider a successful season?
Oh man, a successful season for us would be, I think, taking home some Crandon Pro 2 wins. That's been my goal here for a couple of years, just because I've been not great there my whole life. So some Pro 2 wins, and then ultimately getting back on the top step in the Razor. I haven't won in a long time in pro side-by-side. So hopefully we can do that here today. Starting from second, we have a good chance at it, and the car's really fast. So just getting back into the top steps somewhere here would be cool, because it's Claris's hometown, her home state, and but it feels good. The car feels really good. So getting back onto the top step in pro side-by-side, and then finally getting a win at Crandon in the Pro 2, I think would be awesome.
Awesome. So you did the pill draw. You did two?
Yeah, I did two.
Did you do the actual jar, or did you have somebody else do it?
Actually, my girlfriend did it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got to keep on doing it.
Exactly.
That's a lucky number.
Yeah. So I'll take twos all day long.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, most memorable moment in your racing career?
Ooh, that's tough. I would say, oh man, most memorable. I think I think I have two, probably. I have two most memorables. My first was my first ever Pro 2 win in Oklahoma. Just because I had struggled a lot in Pro 2 getting it all sorted out and what kind I felt comfortable with, and then we'd go the completely wrong way and I'd be horrible, and then we'd be okay. So that felt really good, and just made it feel like, you know, when you're battling with guys like Keegan and Ryan B that have been doing it forever. Like, you know, they're so experienced and know exactly what's going on with their trucks and so tuned in with it that it feels good when you could put it up there, you know, and actually win somewhere, especially like Oklahoma, where it was such a challenging track.
It was very challenging, yeah.
So that was really cool, and then the Mid 400 win in UTV. We'd been doing okay in desert racing, but hadn't won one in probably like 3 or 4 years. So we finally got a Mid 400 win, which is a big race in the States.
Yeah.
And that was really really special to me because we've been trying so hard to like get a win, and it would just like not work out. You know, I would blow it and break something, or something random would break. You know, and finally like put one all together and have like a clean 400 miles and take home that win was pretty special for me.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We look forward to watching you this weekend and hopefully dominating.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you guys.